Is the Quran historically reliable? This episode is based on Dr. Amari's work, Quran and History. This is Daniel Amari from the Religion Research Institute. This episode is about Antioch. In this episode, we investigate a narration of the Quran about a city that was exterminated instantly by a cry. In the last 3 episodes, the Quran stated that a cry was used to exterminate nations and tribes, such as Ad and Thamud and Midian. In this episode, we examine a city that was supposedly exterminated by that same cry. So let's look at the Quranic claims about Antioch. From Surah 36, verse 13 and 14, it says, "And set out to them an example of the people of the city, when the messengers came to it. When we sent to them too, they rejected both of them. Then we strengthened. They said, Our Lord knows what we are most surely messengers to you." And we read from verses 17, 18, and 19 from Surah 36. "And nothing devolves on us but a clear deliverance of the message. They said, Surely we augur evil from you. If you do not desist, we will certainly stone you, and there shall certainly afflict you with painful chastisement from us. It was naught but a single cry, and lo, they were extinct." Analysis of these verses. Quran talks about a city that was sent by Ar-Rahman, Allah. 2 messengers first, then followed by a 3rd messenger. The city did not listen, but threatened the messengers with stoning, so it was utterly destroyed by the mythical cry. Muhammad in the Hadith specified exact identity of the city. It's the city of the Antioch. The books of Syria, Muhammad's bibliography, confirmed that it was the city of Antioch. The Muslim narrators such as Ibn Ishaq, Wahab bin Munabbih, and Ibn Abbas confirmed that it is Antioch as well. Al-Qurtubi reported that Al-Mawardi, according to the expositors of the Quran, the city was Antioch. In addition, Al-Qurtubi and Ibn Kathir and Al-Mas'udi stated that it was Antioch. Many works insisted the same, such as At-Tasil fi Ulum al-Tanzil. Furthermore, Islamic works stated that the missionaries were Paul and his companions. The Quran surely had in mind Paul and Barnabas as they preached in Antioch. They were later confirmed by a third messenger, which is Silas. The threat of stoning did not occur in Antioch, but occurred in another Antioch, the Antioch in Pisidia. This places destruction by the cry, according to the Quran, at the 1st century AD. Let's summarize everything that we said. The Quran speaks of Antioch, 1st century AD. 2 messengers were sent to it, Paul and his companion, followed by a 3rd. They were threatened with stoning. The city was exterminated by a mythical cry. Let's see what history has to say about all of these claims. Concerning the claim of the Quran about Antioch, Antioch was one of the most significant cities in the Roman Empire after Rome and Alexandria. If such a major event happened due to the preaching of Paul, how come it was not mentioned by the apostles or the church fathers? Dr. Amari in his book writes, "The city of Antioch in the Christian era was full of Greek philosophers and geographers. We have much literature coming from Antioch which relates even secondary things that happened in the city. We have Roman historians who precisely recorded deeds done in each city in the empire. Although Antioch was the 3rd most important city in the empire after Rome and Alexandria, no one mentioned a magical cry which destroyed the inhabitants or even part of them." Dr. Amari continues, "If the great catastrophe claimed by Muhammad had happened, it would have shaken the whole Roman Empire. Indeed, it would have become the main news in all Roman literature of the 1st century and the centuries that followed. Evidently, the claim that the city Antioch was instantly destroyed by one mythical cry in the 1st century AD is problematic. Ibn Ishaq, depending on Wahab bin Munabbih and Ka'b al-Ahbar, and supported by Qatada and Abdullah bin Abbas, tried to make the claims of the Quran appear more historical. Therefore, Ibn Ishaq claimed that Antioch was ruled by a pharaoh whose name is Antiochus, son of Antiochus, son of Antiochus. The three missionaries were named Sadiq, Sa'duk, and Shalom. Then Allah exterminated the pharaohs and all of the inhabitants of the Antioch. They disappeared from the face of the earth. Ibn Ishaq, in his attempt to save the Quran, made it even worse. First, the city of Antioch was built in 300 BC by Seleucus Nicator, one of the 4 leaders who succeeded Alexander the Great. Second, the pharaohs had died long before the city Antioch was ever even founded. Third, the pharaohs lived in Egypt, not on the border of Syria and Asia Minor, where Antioch is located. Fourth, Antiochus is a Greek title, but the city was ruled by a Roman, not Greeks, during the Christian era. Let's look at the sources of the Quran. Muhammad heard multiple stories about the missions of Paul and his companions. Clearly, he confused 2 Antioch cities. First, the main city Antioch, which was visited by Paul and Barnabas, and later supported by Silas, as the Quran indicates. Second, the Antioch of Pisidia, where the incident of Paul and stoning occurred. But furthermore, he added to them the destruction of the city by the magical cry. The magical mythical cry. Before Muhammad, the idea of the use of cry for creation and destruction was found in many pagan religions before Islam, such as Zoroastrianism and Manichaeism, and especially Mandeanism. They occurred through mythical animals, gods, and angels such as Gabriel. This demonstrates that the sources of the Quran are a bunch of mythical sources with some real stories that are mixed together to combine the story that is found in the Quran. There is no differentiation between myth and between real history, as both are mixed together. This is Daniel Amari from the Religion Research Institute.